So you know there's such a thing as an electron, and you know there's such a thing as a proton. Okay, and the weird one is this neutron thing, right? So let's just leave that out. Yeah, no. But look, no, the simple argument is this. Modern physics already knows that the neutron decays. That means it falls apart. And when it falls apart into a proton and an electron. So should I even have to make the argument? Let's not talk about neutrons. Because they're a figment of your imagination in the sense they only really exist as a consequence of electrons and protons actually being very close to each other. So if you can get an electron and proton really close, they'll tend to stay there, okay? Unless you knock them out of a nucleus, and then they'll decay into basically hydrogen. Could be argued.
So for years now, you have been saying that a neutron doesn't exist and that it basically is a proton and electron really close together. But that's just not true. You're wrong as always. You just keep guessing and using your intuition. What Gary gets partly right. Modern physics already knows that the neutron decays into a proton and an electron. Correct, but incomplete. A free neutron outside a nucleus undergoes beta decay. So three things are produced: a proton, an electron, an antineutrino. Gary omits the neutrino, which is already a red flag. The critical mistake: therefore neutrons aren't real. Gary's core claim is essentially because a neutron decays into a proton and an electron, the neutron is just a proton-electron bound state. This is flatly wrong, and we can prove it in several independent ways. Reason 1. Proton plus electron does not equal neutron, multiple fatal problems. The mass does not work. A proton's mass is 938.27 mega electron volts. An electron's mass is 0.511 mega electron volts, so the total mass is 938.78 mega electron volts. But the neutron mass is 939.57 mega electron volts. A proton plus electron do not have enough mass to make a neutron. You'd need extra energy, which already contradicts the idea of a simple bound state. Reason 2. Spin does not work. The proton spin is 1/2, the electron spin is 1/2. So two spin 1/2 particles can combine to spin 0 or 1, but the neutron spin equals 1/2. You cannot get spin 1/2 from a proton-electron bound state. This alone already kills the idea. Reason 3. Size does not work. Neutron radius, approximately 1 femtometer. Electron Compton wavelength, approximately 2.4 picometers. That's approximately 2,000 times larger. You cannot confine an electron inside a neutron without giving it absurd kinetic energy, relativistic, which would again blow up the mass and stability. Reason 4. Magnetic moment does not match. The neutron's magnetic moment is not what you'd get from a proton plus electron orbiting each other. This was measured experimentally long before quarks were accepted. Reason 5. Nuclear physics collapses if this were true. If neutrons were proton-electron pairs, electrons would already exist inside nuclei. Nuclear beta decay would make no sense. Nuclear sizes and energy levels would be wildly different. Yet, nuclear structure predictions work extremely well. Electron capture, beta decay, and scattering experiments all agree with neutrons being independent particles. What a neutron actually is: a neutron is a composite particle made of 3 quarks, 1 up, 2 down, bound by the strong force. This model correctly predicts mass, correctly predicts spin, correctly predicts magnetic moment, correctly explains nuclear stability, correctly explains scattering experiments, and most importantly, it makes quantitative predictions that match experiments. Gary's idea makes none.